So why do you think we have to go through the pain of meditation? I mean, it's true that meditation for many people, if you practice a lot, it gives you a lot of release from the negative energy and also relief from the stress. But in the same time, a lot of people are neglecting that. And one of the main reasons for it is that it can actually feel a bit stressful. Uh, People with depression or anxiety, sometimes they say that when they're trying to shut the conversation in their head down, they feel more depressed and more stressed. And sometimes doctors or counselors do not advise regular meditation for some of the patients. But the question is, why is meditation sometimes can be very stressful? It's because when we are generally not being quiet in our head, we are thinking about random things. We may be thinking about the things we need to do for work, which we may think we don't have enough time for. We may even stress about dinner that we want to have, or what friends said, or just global news, etc. So we are in a highly stimulated society, and our brain is highly stimulated. So if we make our mind very quiet, that is necessary condition for meditation, we may feel a bit stressful because there is no noise. And one noise comes up in our head, which is, oh my God, this is horrible. You are by yourself. That's bad, right? And therefore, what we do is that we distract ourselves by watching news, social media, talking to negative friends, and doing counterproductive things. So I want to relate this to one of the Rumi's poems, and here I read this first in Persian and then I will translate it to English and also do a bit of interpretation and see how it links. So Rumi says, سینه خواهم شرح شرحه از فراق تا بگویم شرح درد اشتیاق. So he says that my heart, I prefer that my heart be torn from the separation from the source or spirituality or God, right? And so what does that mean? Is that like when we are not really connected to our consciousness, to our essence, we are in pain. So our consciousness is when we are observing things that's happening around us. And we are not being influenced by random thoughts and random requests that we have, or randomly checking news or social media or talking to negative friends. So yeah, we can use that to reduce some of the pain of being by ourselves by distracting ourselves with the things that are gonna distract us in a short period of time. But what would happen when we keep being distracted and highly stimulated in our mind and we don't have time to focus? All this stuff, all the noise, everything that we hear in news and from the environment and social media are going to take away our mind from our essence, from our consciousness. And we fail to really notice what's happening around us in a physical environment. Have you gone to the nature and then you feel that, oh my God, there is this beautiful cloud or sky or view and I haven't actually noticed it yet. And it was in front of me for a long time because we are so busy in our head and thinking. So what really separates us from our source, from which is consciousness, is all these random noises. Although when we find ourselves entertained with some of these things that can be potentially negative, they can be negative in a way that, like news, it can bring us stressful thoughts it also can be negative in a sense that we are not really focusing on something either productive or really enjoy being in the moment and being present. So when we are being taken over by our mind, by the things that really stimulate us, or our brain, we are not in touch with our consciousness, and it is painful in a long term. You may find yourself entertained by reading a news that's very negative, and it gives you a lot of cortisol, which is going to cause you a lot of stress. But over the day, you wouldn't feel as good. So being separated from our consciousness is very painful. And so when Rumi says, for example, سینه خواهم شرح شرح از فراغ, it's when we make ourselves busy with the things that are counterproductive in a sense of really producing something in real life or being connected with our souls and rejuvenating. When we are not doing that, we are getting more and more far from our spiritual essence. We are getting far from our positive goals, and we are getting far from the nature and being in touch with pure consciousness that is within us, and also connecting it to other people who are also deep down pure consciousness. And then on the next verses it says تا بگویم شرح درد اشتیاق, so that I can tell you about the pain of the passion for meeting you. So meeting you can be called meeting God. It could be called being in touch with our consciousness and with our essence. We long so much for being in touch with who we really are, which is different from the machines, which is our consciousness, right? So although we are distracting ourselves all the time by making our brain busy with all these random thoughts that come out to our head, which is helped by the negative influences in our environment, and not being able to really take the time and be connected with the source and be connected with the consciousness and do meditation and muraqabeh. That in a future videos I'm gonna say what is the difference between muraqabeh and meditation. They have similarities and differences. So when we are not doing this, we are not connected to who we are, and we are just being taken over with random thoughts, with negative influences from the environment. So if I want to summarize this saying from Rumi's poet, is that my heart is being torn apart when I'm not connected, and when I'm being taken over by ego and all these negative things that come with it. And so that I really want to share the amount of passion that I have to join the consciousness, to join the God. And that comes with silencing the noise in our head and focusing on the nature, where the nature was created from, and focusing on the beauty of this life, focusing on in our body and or in the environment, and that is what gives us pure joy. So if you start doing muraqabeh, or if you started doing meditation, of course in the beginning you are going to feel a lot of stress, because when you quiet your mind from the random distracting thoughts, in the beginning another thought comes into your head which says, this is horrible, I can't do it, this is boring, oh my God, I'm with myself, etc. No. But this noise will go away as you practice focusing, as you practice meditation and being connected to your source and to the nature and to your body. And notice all this physical sensation that you have in your body, the feeling that is attached to, and also the thoughts that are being triggered by. Thanks very much. And if you want to spread this noise, please make sure that you like this video and you subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon.